I want to do some more interview series with music artists, right?
Yep.
I personally feel like what I have to bring to the table as far as questions and conversation, I could go get bigger name artists off the bat if I have good quality to go with it, right?
Yeah. How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Secrets to Silent Success. Today we have the one and only Travis Ellison once again. And then we also got the producer of the show, Mr. Jonathan Stanley. We're going to be talking about social media and building brands. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it, all right?
All right.
So the first thing we want to talk about is posting content. I'm going to pass it to Travis and get some of your ideas about posting content. Let's talk about consistency. Let's talk about things that are what they call sticky. What's been some of your strategies for posting content and challenges for that matter?
Yeah, I'll start with challenges. I think the biggest challenge for me is staying consistent because I feel like I'm such a sporadic type of content creator.
Yeah.
Obviously, the consistent part is my work in the NFL. There's a game every week, so I can shoot the game, get the edits out, and post that once a week.
Yeah.
So during the season, it's usually easier to be consistent in that nature.
Gotcha.
Still a challenge because there's a lot of stuff to do to get it to go, but it's easier to schedule that out.
Gotcha.
Because I know every week I'll have a new game to post. When it comes to my other things, whether I'm singing on Instagram or giving some inspiration, those things happen sporadically. I'm still working on how can I channel all of that, or how can I still schedule that out to where it's an authentic, sporadic thought, but it's put into a package where I can put this content out, and when people see it, they know that this is what's coming their way, instead of just being kind of all over the place. But,
I think one of the things that we struggle with the Secrets of Silent Success content is that we like very produced content, whether that's clips from an episode, whether that's clips from me public speaking. Everything is very produced. And when it comes to having things that are very produced, as you know, you got to edit that. And it takes time. We've been using some artificial intelligence, what we may talk about on this episode, right? And something that he don't like. But we'll get into it. One of our biggest debates, and I'm going to let you chime in and get your opinion on it first, and by all means, feel free to chime in. One of our biggest debates is quality versus consistency, right? The quality of what the edit looks like versus consistency. My thought process is, and I'm gonna let you say your thought process is, then we'll bring it over to Travis, see what he thinks. Right? My thought process is there's a tipping point in quality to where people don't care about it. They care about the content itself. So I'm like, if the quality is good enough, put it out there because we need the consistency. I don't want to bottleneck or get backlogged on trying to make the perfect quality and we're not putting anything out there. I'm like, hey, if a word, if it's the wrong year, if it's Y-O-U-R instead of Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, put that thing out there, right? So that's my thought process, right? My guy here absolutely hates that. I'll let him speak to what he thinks about content, but I'm more of like, hey, we need consistency. There's a tipping point at quality to where you are not getting a return on the investment if you're trying to get quality. It's all about consistency. What do you think?
You know, I differ with that. I do believe in consistency, but if there's a wrong word out there, why would you want to put that out there on your brand? Or, you know, if we're using AI and the quality of the video is blurry, like, that's just not what I want to produce. I'm just very anal. Even when it comes to captions, I might send it to him. He's like, just post. I'm like, well, does that even make sense? Or that sound right? Just post it, bro. So we sometimes differ when it comes to that. I know we don't want to bottleneck it, but I will bottleneck it if it looks and it's presented right. That's just me.
Yeah. I think from my perspective, both of you have some good points.
Yeah.
I do agree with Jonathan on I don't necessarily, if I catch a misspelled word, I don't want to post that. If it goes out and it's already out there and it's doing whatever it's going to do in the market or in the world of social media, then okay, we'll just be more aware next time. When you talked about the tipping point, right? I was thinking as you said that, right? I think there's, for example, the work we did with Porsche. If we shot that on iPhones and that was the first time they saw us, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Sure.
We did that at a professional level, but we've done the thing with Porsche, right? They know our value and our quality, and we've shown the consistency of meetings and having ideas and all those things. I think if we were to come to them now with, hey, we have this other idea we have in mind, we just shot it on iPhones, we didn't have a budget, but this is what you can expect.
Yeah.
That, I think, that quality, although the quality of the visual is lower, we now have a brand representation that our standard is high.
Yeah.
And I think that would be accepted. So like another example is, you know, you may have Kevin Hart, right? He's on movies and he's doing his own shows and all these things that are highly produced.
Yeah.
But if he pulls out his phone tomorrow and just a quick video of like, hey, this is something I have on my heart I want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's still going to do numbers because it's authentic and it's him.
So he said the president.
Yeah, I think it's because of his brand, but I also think it's because of the content, right? So some of our best, one of our best performing videos on both YouTube and on Instagram, and I say best performing, I'm talking about just like 2,000, I ain't talking about 2 million, right? But one of our best performing videos is a video of me talking about you're not a product of your environment, you're a product of how you respond to your environment. I randomly put up the phone in the back of the classroom. I didn't even have a mic. I put my AirPod in and recorded the voice note and then synced it in post. Best video. Now, we over here recording with the FX6. I've done videos with a Blackmagic. They don't do the numbers, right? So is it about the quality or is it about the content that the quality is masked over? I'm all about the content. I think you can go out there and Gary Vee it with your cell phone. I think you can go out there and have a video. To his point, he don't like the AI. We'll get to that in a second because it compresses the video a little bit, so it's a little more pixelated. But I'm saying, hey, if I'm watching it on my 5-inch iPhone screen, in my opinion, people aren't counting pixels, right? They are digesting the content. And so I think that's what I mean by tipping point. To give you an analogy, you brought up Porsche, right? We could have rented the Aerie, Alexa, right? We could have rented a Red Dragon. We didn't. We shot it on the A1. We shot on the Blackmagic Ursa that we used. We used the old Ronin. We didn't even have the Ronin S, right? It's still on Porsche. Why? Because the content, right? They talked a little bit about the shots, but they talked about how the players, what they talked about, the authenticity of what they were saying. They care more about the content. And I think when it comes to having that consistency on social media, they care about the authenticity of the content a little more than they care about the quality. But
I mean, anybody guess we asked to do the show, one of the things they first say, the video and the quality of the video looks good.
Absolutely.
So if you alter that, wouldn't that not, what do you think about, should I say that right?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. What he was saying was that anytime somebody comes to the podcast, they're like, the quality of your podcast looks great, right? But we've shot it on 4 different cameras, right? So whether it was an A9, or whether it's the FX6, whether the FS5, we shot stuff on the FS5, or if it's the FX6, nobody's like, oh, well, that episode will be better than that episode. I think it's a level of quality that once you reach that level, most of it after that becomes excess, right? I can shoot this podcast on the Aerie, but that's excessive with the quality. My A1, my A9 is fine to shoot it on. That's just my thought.
Well, I think it's a blend of content. I mean, quality, right? Because like what you're saying, and I think about it too, like if I wanted to start a podcast tomorrow, like one thing I've thought about is I want to do some more interview series with music artists, right?
Yep.
I personally feel like what I have to bring to the table as far as questions and conversation, I could go get bigger name artists off the bat if I have good quality to go with it, right?
Yep.
Like you were mentioning, like when they see the because they may not know me in the music space as somebody interviewing them or like a host.
Yeah.
But if I have my brand already built and then I have good quality that I'm saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to create.
Sure.
I think they're more willing to do it than if I'm like, oh, I got one camera set up, whatever. And I think, yeah, to your point, like, okay, a FX6, FS7, all these different cameras, to a certain extent, people may not know the difference. But I think there's a standard from both of y'all.
Yeah, and so
that's a foreign language to me, all these camera talk. But just my ideology, why would you put up A work and expecting to get A results, you know? That's just my ideology, you know? So who's going to put out average work, the return on that is going to be way longer.
I actually disagree with that. I'm gonna come back to that in a second because I think we argue two different things. So both of you have mentioned quality in regards to getting other guests on the show, and I agree with that. Right? If you want to attract a big name person on your podcast, to have quality that makes it seem like you are that big of a entity for them to come on, that helps. And even when they show up and they see the lights, the cameras, it's a presentation. However, I'm referring to the viewer who's swiping up on their phone on Instagram, on TikTok. bro, YouTube's gonna compress it anyway. I'm talking about from a viewer audience standpoint, they don't care about the quality. And then this would be my last kind of rebuttal to that. I know we're saying like, hey, we want the nice cameras, we want the nice quality, we want everything to have everything to be matching, uniform, brand, all that good stuff, right? I believe if you can build the social capital, right? If you got 100,000 views or 100,000 followers, if you shot everything on your cell phone, people will still come on your platform because you got the social capital, right? So that's my thought process. I'm trying to build a social capital. I think we've gotten to a point to where our quality is good. I'm not trying to improve the quality. The quality's fine. I'm trying to improve the social capital now. That would be my point.
What's your thoughts?
I just don't know how you can build the social capital. We don't have that name or brand yet to build the social capital with putting out average work, in my opinion. You know, we go back and forth with certain artists. You know, we say, I don't know if I should say this. Certain artists like Drake, one of his best albums was "Take Care." You know, any other music he's put out, but it hasn't really been up to that level. But he's still going to get the amount of views of that because he set the bar so high. We haven't set that bar with our podcast, in my opinion.
But hold on, so you brought up Drake. I think Drake is a great example. I think Russ, the rapper, is a great example. They put out consistent work. We may say that Certified Lover Boy wasn't a good album, but he might, right? So it's all about throwing more things on the wall. We all love Kendrick's latest album, but bro, it took me 8 years to get it. Rihanna still ain't put an album out. You know what I'm saying?
I like to report shots fired.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what a Rihanna album at? So it's hard to keep that consistency. But you about to say something to that? What are you gonna say?
Well, I think it's interesting because we talk about quality, right? And there's different levels and different spaces of quality. Because when you spoke about Drake, right? Okay, is the lyricism that we're talking about? That's the right word, lyricism? Is that the word?
I think
if it's the lyrics, right? Specifically what he's saying, is it the production, like is it the engineering, or is it simply like the project itself? Like it's a lot of different factors to what you consider quality in that space. Like we don't know if he recorded on the iPhone mic and then just engineered it right, or if he had a $10,000 mic. So like there's different levels of quality. I think what I would say ultimately is how it makes people feel. Right, so like what they come to the platform, what the value they want to receive from it.
Yeah.
Because I'll say another thing for me, when I go on YouTube, right, and I look at different videos, right, like if I'm looking at a camera, right, or I want to see a first-person view of somebody using a camera, like they do like street photography and things like that. Some people may have a dope GoPro, some people may have a cell phone, some people may not have whatever. So it's like you're willing to push through the production lows if you can still gain value out of it. Like sound may come out of one ear, but if I can still hear in that one ear and I feel like it's valuable, then I'm willing to deal with it. But I do think in your case, like if you have the ability to do both, why not? Because you're feeding both sides of the spectrum.
It just goes with your brand. You know, you could put on a Spike Lee film and say that's a Spike Lee movie. You could put on a Tyler Perry film, oh, that's a Tyler Perry. That brand is set. You know, you can pull up a Christopher Nolan movie. You can tell that's Christopher Nolan production.
Yeah, you went to Spike Lee and Tyler Perry, but like I think about Chirac movie. The quality was there, but I feel like the substance of it was not. You know, you see that with Tyler Perry all the time. Some of Tyler Perry's movie, the quality's still Tyler Perry, but the substance, you're like, bro, what's this acting, right? So again, I think substance and consistency is more important than quality once you reach a certain level of quality, right? We know every video, the audio is gonna come through both ears. We know every video is gonna be in 4K, right? But if this one went out of focus a little bit, or if this one is a little bit more compressed, or if this one, the framing is a little, or my shirt matched too much of the background, I'm like, I don't think we need to get in the weeds of that because we're right here with the quality, right? I think that's where it becomes excessive to try to perfect the quality. I think I'm right here. Now I'm focused on consistency and substance because I think that's what's gonna get me to the next level. The quality right here. I ain't trying to improve that no more. We right here, but that's my thing. So I appreciate you all for watching this episode of Secrets of Silent Success. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.